Welcome to the channel and welcome to Warhammer 40k 8th edition. It's old school versus new school. It's Primaris Space Marines versus classic Space Marines. Today on the channel, my Space Marine chapter, known as the 13th, will be going up against the illustrious Firehawks chapter. Now, they have a long and bloody history in 40k lore. They were one of the few chapters that went up against Vandire. They were one of the first chapters to be deployed during the Badab War. And through niggly goodness and getting lost in the warp, there's plenty of rumours abound to say that the Firehawks chapter are wiped out and became the Legion of the Damned. However, Gulliman being Gulliman has found some Primaris gene seed, or found some gene seed of the Firehawk chapter, and has reinstalled them, reinitiated them. The Firehawks are back. It will not be the first time, nor the last time, that a chapter has probably been entirely wiped out, and then the gene seed has been used to resurrect them, bring them back from the dead. But today on the channel, this ancient chapter, the Firehawks, will be going up against the 13th. Now, the 13th are going to be using the chapter tactics Iron Warriors? Iron Hands. And it's going to be mainly made of classic Space Marines. And the Primaris Space Marines of the Firehawks are going to be following the Ultramarines chapter tactics. And it's 3,000 points aside. So we've got plenty of points on each side to figure out who is the better Space Marine. Old school versus new school, and we're going to be fighting in and amongst this installation here. As you can see, this industrial wasteland has turned the ground into red ruin and oil patches. This very striking battle mat is brought to you by Hot Dice Miniatures. Hot Dice Miniatures are a Canadian company. So if you live on the other side of the pond and are looking for a company that can supply battle mats without crippling shipping costs because it's coming all the way from Europe, then Hot Dice Miniatures are for you. However, this terrain, this awesome modular terrain, is from foreground.co.uk, which are a British company. So I know they do free shipping to America on orders over 80 or 90 pounds. They do free shipping, and this stuff, this modular MDF terrain, is very heavy, so how they managed to pull that one out of the bag, I don't know. However, we're going to be fighting in and amongst these ruined installations here, not ruined installations, but this installation here. We're playing frontline assault and we're playing frontline warfare. So frontline assault is the deployment which is 6 inches here, in here, and goes up to an arrow and comes back to 6 inches on that side. The 13th, the classic Space Marines will be deployed on here. The Primaris Space Marines deployed on the other side. And then frontline warfare is the game from chapter approved. And basically the way it works is it's First Blood, Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, and you score the objectives at the end of the game. Now there's two, one by this one here, and one by in that ammo hopper there, or that hopper there, that are going to be worth 2 points at the end of the game because they're in no man's land. If you score the one in your deployment zone at the end of the game, you get a point. So if the 13th score that one, they'll get a point. If the Primaris Marines score that one, they'll get 4 points. That one's worth a point for the Firehawks up on that gantry there, or one point for the Firehawks, or 4 points for the 13th. So 3,000 points, 1 point for your own objective, 2 points for the objectives in no man land, 4 points for the objectives in the enemy deployment zone, frontline warfare. It's going to kick off. This is an area of disputed ground where these two noble Astartes chapters have come to blows. Tom called me out on this one because back on the channel one more time is Tom, now suddenly collecting Space Marines.
I did Space Marines before.
Along with Harlequins and Orcs and Eldar. And
each of the names are one I don't.
So suddenly you've got some Space Marines. And you think that the Firehawks have got a beef with the 13th, right?
Oh, yeah, they absolutely do. They specialise in inter-conflict within the Imperium.
Right.
So seeing as the 13th aren't exactly chapter compliant, then they would definitely go for them. They really would.
Yes, well, the 13th were famous for being renegades once upon a time, and then the Cicatrix Maledictum happened, and we've been brought back into the fold. But the Firehawks, well, the Firehawks are from the cursed founding. They're not exactly stable.
Well, they ended up bursting into flames, so not exactly that stable.
No, exactly. So, Civil War. I know that the winner of this day will be the enemies of the Imperium. But let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is just down for 3,000 points worth of Space Marines. It's 2 battalion detachments, which gives me 13 command points to play with. 13 command points for the 13th. So 2 HQ and 3 troops over there, 2 HQ and 3 troops over there. And leading the army today will be brother Captain Sol Garrow. He's got the Burning Blade as his relic and Storm of Fire warlord trait. And he's got his Storm Shield there, and following him along will be a lieutenant, so lieutenant-captain combination. And then I've got a librarian and Captain Gabriel Locke with his Relic Blade and Storm Shield on a bike. The librarian I've given Might of Heroes and Null Zone. Null Zone is the Ignore Invulnerable Save 1, Might of Heroes +1 attack and strength and toughness, I think. So those are my 4 HQs. Right, when writing this list, I knew I was going up against Primaris. Tom knew he was going up against Classic Space Marines, and I thought Flyers would probably hurt Primaris quite a lot. And I have 7 Space Marine Flyers because Primaris Space Marines don't have very many anti-flyer guns. So I thought, I can't bring Flyers, that would be a bit cheeky. And then I thought I could bring some of my 30 Terminators along because Primaris Marines, apart from Reavers, don't really have very many assaulty options. And Reavers aren't that great anyway, unless you're bringing Blood Angels for the Red Thirst to give them the +1 to wound. So they're not really close combat orientated Primaris Space Marines. So I thought I better not bring any Terminators either. And this is what we're left up with: some heavies, a good spread of heavies, good spread of HQs, and elites and fast attack. Bringing along 3 units of 4 bikers here, because when I started sticking the list together, I needed some speed in it. So I thought bikers were the way to go. Plus they've got 2 wounds, and Primaris Space Marines all have 2 wounds. So I wanted stuff with 2 wounds in it as well. I've given the sergeants combi gravs, and there's a grav in every single one of the squads. So 4 units of 3 there. 3 units of scouts, 1 all with sniper rifles. There's some devastators, some stern guard in the background. Didn't give them any other upgrades apart from their just special issue bolt guns, and a predator and a tech marine. So basically some DACA, some speed in this part. And then over here, I needed more DACA, less speed, because this doesn't really have that much DACA in it. So 2 rapier batteries, another Thunderfire, 3 units of 5 tactical marines. 2 of them have got combi plasmas in. I think that one and that one, combi plasmas. I nearly bought all 3 assault cannon Razorbacks, but I thought that would have been very cheeky as well, just bringing 36 shots worth of assault cannon, so I didn't do that. And then I brought 2 Mortis Dreadnoughts from the Imperial Armour book. So using just the Space Marine Codex, you can't bring this loadout because there's 2 twin auto cannon Dreadnoughts there. But using this book from Forge World, you can. And that's the Mortis Dreadnought entry. 141 points, I think, with the twin auto cannons. And the rapier cannons are in here as well. These rapier carriers, basically to bring extra DACA along, because as I said, when I was doing the list, it didn't look like much DACA. Anyway, 3,000 points, good spread of different units all over the place. Old school classic Space Marines, lots of command points to play with. Iron Hands chapter tactics, so ignoring wounds on a 6-up. Let's go and have a look at the Firehawks. Right, this is 3,000 points of mostly Primaris Space Marines, because they're a bit more expensive than the classic Space Marines. It's just a single battalion detachment. That gives you 8 command points, and we've got 2 captains at the front here. What am I looking at, Tom?
Well, that's the box standard Primaris captain.
Gravis armor.
Yeah.
Is he your warlord?
Yeah, he'll be the warlord.
Okay, cool.
And secondary, he's a captain.
Right.
He's got a jump pack.
Nice.
A relic blade.
Right.
And a mastercrafted bolt gun.
Okay.
And he has got the relic, which is the Sanctum Halo, which gives him a 3+ invulnerable save,
Okay.
and he can deny a psychic power.
Right, okay. So, 3+ invulnerable save, and that's the Ultramarines one, right?
Yes, it is.
And psychic power denial going on there. I like the fact you put them on a jump pack. That's very good.
Yeah, converted him from a 2 models pretty much.
Yeah, sweet.
I am going for the Ultramarines chapter tactics, even though it's not that great from army, because it's like half has got the fly keyword. But
right. Ultramarines, you can fall back and shoot.
-1.
And -1, and you've got +1 leadership. So we've got 3 units of intercessors, I can see.
Yep, with the bolt rifles.
Yeah, just standard bolt rifles.
Absolutely.
Right.
I've got a unit of 4 aggressors with flame storms.
Okay.
And they'll be riding around in a repulsor.
And you put the las cannons on the repulsor.
Yep. Well, that one's got the las talon and the las cannons.
Right, and this one's got
The las cannons and the the heavy onslaught Gatling cannon.
all the Dakar.
They have so many guns, and all Big Mac would be
Right.
fuming for it.
And repulsors have got the same toughness and number of wounds as a Land Raider, but it's got a 3 up save instead of a 2 up save.
It's got a flight keyword.
And it's got a fly keyword, yeah, they float along. 10 Hellblasters, never leave a home without them if you're going Primaris, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Are these just the 30-inch range flavour?
Yeah, it's the basic one. The absolute basic one, yeah.
Okay. 3 units of 4 jumpy dudes.
Yeah, 3 units of 4.
We like what are they?
Jumpy dudes.
Jumpy dudes,
Yeah.
we like them. Particularly when you've got a captain nearby, chucking, with a reroll hit rolls of 1. You've actually got a surprisingly amount of mobility in this with the fly keyword, with your jumpy dudes, with the...
Yeah,
right.
I'm pretty happy with the scenery because it kind of does give me a benefit.
Yeah.
I have a Venerable Dreadnought.
Yes.
Because my idea is, this is how they rebuilt the army. They found a battle brother and they entombed him in a classical dreadnought.
Okay.
His name is Apollo.
So because of him, because of the gene seed in Apollo there, they've been able to rebuild the Firehawks chapter.
Yeah,
I like it.
He like sit around a campfire and tell them all about the stories of how they...
Used to be.
Yeah. Before they burned into flames. And then...
Before they became the Legion of Damned. All that stuff you heard, don't listen to it, it's fine. Sitting around the campfire and going on hiking trips and learning how to tie knots, things like that. Brilliant stuff. Storm, Raven, Gunship.
Yeah.
That's not Primaris as well.
Well, I had a few extra 100 points left over and it's a nice model and...
It is a nice model and it's got all the guns.
Absolutely.
Primaris Marines can't go in it, but your Venerable Dreadnought could go in it.
And it will be going in it.
Will it? Okay, cool. I'm talking about Dreadnoughts.
I've got 2 Redeemer Dreadnoughts.
Yes.
The Gatling Cannon, the small Gatling Cannon.
Yes.
It's basically Wizardwig, the Plasma, the Heavy Flamer.
Okay. So, Dreadnoughts, Primaris Marines, Jumpy Dudes, Repulsors, 3,000 points, 8 command points to play with. This is going to hit like a brick, but I've got a lot of bodies to get through.
Yes, but we have the Emperor on our side.
What? I got the Emperor on my side.
No, you're dirty, Trez.
No.
You said you're an Iron Warriors, aren't you?
Iron Hands.
I'm pretty sure you said Iron Warriors.
We were dirty traitors, but then we went in the bath and we're much cleaner now. We're deployed for this 3,000 point game of frontline warfare, old school versus new school, and the 13th are turtled up in the corner here, right next to their objective, which is down there. Got my Devastators all the way along. Brother Captain Solgar, my Warlord's there with his lieutenant, granting all the buffs to the Devs, to the Razorbacks, to everything. And then after I did all of that, hit the wall. Line of sight down here is not great. I can see some flashes of orange here and there, but it is not great. Put a unit of bikes on the edge as well, ready to swing up and swing around. And I've kept Tactical Marines in all of the Razorbacks for now. The Rhino's got the Stone Guard in it with the Libby. The Libby's in there as well. And the Scouts can deploy outside of the deployment zone. So I've got 1 unit of 6 Scouts which have come up here. They've clambered out of the crate. And the other unit of 6 Scouts are inside that box. Tom said that was okay. I thought it was a bit cheeky, but you're okay with that?
I'm actually fine with it.
I like the fact that they've infiltrated and said this box and a transporter has dropped it off, and it's right next to this objective, and they're hoping no one will see them for the whole game and then run out and score it. That's the plan. Unless you come around here, which you are probably going to come around here at this point and just fill that full of lead, and that will be a death zone, because there are 3 units of 4 jumpy dudes. Interceptors, what are they called? I never get it right. Interceptors. Isn't that a Grey Knight thing? Anyway, there's a big, obviously the scouts are right up at the end of that thing, but you can deploy here with the jumpy dudes. You can deploy along the front with the jumpy dudes. There's a lot of spaces for the interceptors coming in all over the place, ready to pressurize my line. But essentially I just have to hang firm, fire back as much as possible, move out and score these objectives later on, and this is what I look out at. So this terrain, if you're in a terrain piece, fully in a terrain piece, you get +1 to your cover save. We're saying vehicles can't get up there. However, these repulsors aren't really up there. They're floating above them because they have the fly keyword, so we're happy with that. My Rhino and my Dreadnoughts won't be able to walk up there, but the repulsors can hover above these gantries.
I just want to say, it's not because of the fly keyword, it's because we have the Emperor on our side. That's why you're on the ground.
You keep saying that like it's a thing. I have the Emperor on my side as well. Which one has got the Hellblasters in?
That one.
That one's got the Hellblasters in, very close to my lines. Oh dear. And the other one's got the flamey dudes
And
in...
the Primaris Captain.
Aggressors.
Yeah.
The aggressors are in that one, with the Primaris Captain.
Mm-hmm.
And the other Primaris Captain is hurtling down through orbit, or the one with the jump pack on.
Gliding with the Emperor's guidance.
Guided, yes.
Yeah.
The Emperor is definitely on your side and on my side. Can't we just say it's a game of paintball?
No, we have to kill you. Purge the heretic, you know.
The two dreadnoughts there. The flyer on the outside is your chaplain, not your chaplain, your venerable dreadnought inside the Storm Raven.
Yes, he is.
On the grav harness at the back. And there's your objective. That's worth 1.2 or 4 points to me. So the Firehawks have spread out and spread across the line, as well as hurtling down through orbit. The 13th have pulled back and turtled up, ready to take this charge. But first we need to see who has the initiative. Which warlord has managed to marshal his forces together quicker than the other one. Solgara had a bit more to muster here, so it's -1 to my dice roll to pull them all into order, pull them all into battle formation. So I will roll first, and I get a 6. Can you beat a 6 with a +1 on your dice roll? You get a 1. That's a 1.
I wanted to go second, thank you very much.
Did you?
Yes, I did.
Do you want to not steal the initiative then? You want to go
We
second?
will see. No, I didn't.
You roll
No,
a
I
3.
didn't.
Okay, so the 13th will go first in this civil war. Here we are after the movement phase for the 13th, and we mainly stay still and wait for the enemy to come forward. One of the Razorbacks had to move because it really couldn't see anything. He's still within 6 inches of the captain and the lieutenant there. And then over here, some shuffling as well. The Librarian jumped out the back of the Rhino with the Stern Guard in, and I've already cast Might of Heroes. Well, I tried to cast Might of Heroes and failed to get this Predator up to toughness 8, but that didn't work. And Gabriel Locke has zipped through the middle here to provide the reroll bubble. Reroll hit rolls of 1 to all of these, because the Dreadnought on the left flank had to move out because I couldn't see anything. And now I can see those intercessors over there. And twin autocannons on dreadnoughts are 48-inch range. It is heavy though, so let's fly straight into the shooting phase and try and kill some stuff. So I am going to fire them at the intercessors on that objective there. It's forced to hit because I moved, and I'm re-rolling 1s because I am within range of a captain. So in the end, I get 5 hits. It's strength 7, toughness 4. I'm wounding on 3s. That's 5 wounds. It's -1, but you're +1 because you're in a terrain piece. But each one does 2 damage. So every 3-up save that you fail will kill an intercessor. And you only fail 1 intercessor falls. Moving along, Father Razorback didn't have to move it because in frontline assault you're 15 inches up, and your dreadnought's 15 inches up as well. 24-inch range on the assault cannons. I'm in range of that dreadnought. That's the only thing it can shoot at, so let's shoot at him, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. That was 10 hits, strength 6, toughness 7. I need 5s. I get 2 wounds at -1 on your dreadnought. So 2 4-up saves. And you fail 1, make 1, dreadnought takes a wound.
Which one?
This one on here, your left and my right. And then the Predator will open fire at the dreadnought as well. It's the only thing it can... Mind you could fire at that. You say there's Hellblasters in that one?
Yep.
I think I'm going to have to fire at your repulsor because, yeah, if it goes pop with 10 Hellblasters in, some of them could die. That's definitely a thing. Let's fire the Predator at the repulsor. 3s to hit with the las cannons. Rerolling 1, so there's 2. Strength 9, toughness 8. Wounds at -3 AP on your repulsor. I think you need a 6.
But +1 because I'm in cover?
No, vehicles don't benefit the cover from cover, ruins things.
Nope.
You need to be 50% obscured actually, so if you were in cover and wholly 50% obscured, then you would get it. So failed save, d6 damage. 6, it's the big 6. Drops it down to 10 wounds left already. Now firing the Predator autocannon across, heavy 2d3, so number of shots is 5 shots, I'll buy that for $1. And I'm hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s because Gabriel stood right next to it, so only 2 hits. It's strength 7, toughness 8 though, so I need 5s. I get a wound, it's -1, but it does 3 damage. You make the save, just bounces off your armour. Right, let's keep firing at it until it's dead. So las cannons on this one. Twin las cannons firing up and over. Can it see? No, it can't. It really can't. So I'm going to have to put the twin las cannons into the dreadnought I already clipped. 3s to hit. 1 hit. 3s to wound. 1 wound. -3. So 6 up save on the dreadnought. You don't make it d6 damage on the dreadnought with a las cannon.
Again.
Another fat 6. Look at that. Across to this Razorback, which I moved on purpose so I could see your repulsor. Because it's moved, the las cannons are heavy. So instead of 3s to hit, 4s to hit. 1 hit. I need a 3 to wound. And that's a wound. You need a 6 up save on the repulsor. Which you fail. This will do d6 damage. That's 4 damage. I think it's got 6 wounds left.
Yep.
And now the last las cannons I have are in my Devastator squad here. I'm going to fire the heavy bolter and the las cannons at the repulsor, but I'm going to be using my first stratagem, which is called a Hellfire Shell. Basically acid exploding ammunition in the heavy bolter. It costs 1 command point. I need to hit. I'll use the Signum on this as well, so it hits on a 2 instead of a 3. And that's a hit. And it will do D3 mortal wounds. That's what a Hellfire Shell does. For 2 mortal wounds on the repulsor. And then las cannon fire. Only a couple of wounds to get through. 3s to hit. They all hit.
Yeah.
Strength 9, toughness 8. 2 wounds at -3 AP. 2 6 up saves. And you fail them both. How many wounds to get through?
4.
4 wounds to get through. 2d6 damage. Snake eyes. It's only 2 damage. So let's spend a command point to re-roll. I've got to. I can't get worse than a 1. 5 damage. That's a dead repulsor. That's first blood. Does it explode?
Okay, now I'll roll 6. Oh,
It
no,
doesn't
good,
explode. And how many models are inside? Because they might get injured.
10.
10 as they come scrambling out through the wreckage. And any ones? You
2 of
get
9.
2 ones. 2 Hellblasters die as they come out of the wreckage. This is where they end up after the model was removed. Now, I'd like to fire this Dreadnought Mortis Strempter with 2 damage weaponry at them as well. But great big metallic hopper is in the way and I really can't see them. So he can't fire at them. However, the scouts can fire at them. So let's fire scout weaponry at the Hellblasters, because Hellblasters are nasty. 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s because Solgaro is screaming in their ears. I need 4s to wound, but any 6s cause mortal wounds in addition, because it's a sniper weaponry. So 2 wounds, no mortal wounds. And you get a 2 up save because you're in terrain. They save it. The sniper's not managing to find a target there. Let's see if one of these Thunderfire gunners can find a target. They can fire indirectly, so let's fire up and over and continue to rain pain down on the Hellblasters. They're such a big threat. I think it's 4d3 shots each time. So that's 7 shots. That's fragmentation stuff. Explode all around them. All of them hitting. Strength 5, toughness 4, but there's a lieutenant nearby, so wounding on 3s and re-rolling 1s. Ooh, they all wound. Right, it's -1 AP, 1 damage each, but you're +1 because you're in terrain. So 7 3-up saves, and you fail 3 of them. Then the second Thunderfire came up and over as well, did 7 damage as well, so 7 3-up saves. And you only fail 1 of them, but 1 of them was injured, so 1 of them is gone. 6 Hellblasters left. They have 2 wounds each, proving resilient. So let's fire one of these rapier carriers at them. They have 12 shots each, these quad bolters, hitting on 3s. That was 8 hits, and at strength 5, toughness 4, wounding on 3s. And that is 6 wounds in total at -1, but +1 because you're in train. So 6 3-up saves. And you only fail 1. Then the second rapier fired up and over, only doing 4 wounds, so 4 3-up saves, and you fail 1 of them as well, killing 1 more Hellblaster. I think the last thing left to fire now is this Dreadnought. This is Honoured Brother Matthias, and he is within range of the Captain Lieutenant, and I can see your Dreadnought. So let's put rounds into your Dreadnought. 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s, and it's strength 7 versus toughness 7 of Dreadnought?
Yep.
I think they are. So 4s to wound, and re-rolling 1s. And that is 4 wounds, -1, 2 damage. So 4 4 up saves. And you only fail 1, so take 2 more damage off that dreadnought. How many's got left?
4.
4, only 4. And that's the end of shooting phase for the 13th. Just a wash of firepower erupting out from the lines, taking out one of the repulsors of the Firehawks over there, injuring one of those dreadnoughts, and critically injuring this Hellblaster squad. I think you got a morale test to make.
Yep.
The leadership 9 though, because you're an Ultramarine. Or you follow that doctrine. 6 plus 5
I'm
is
going
11.
to re-roll that.
Yeah, I would.
I
2
passed.
plus 5, you pass morale, no more. Otherwise, you'd have lost 2 more Hellblasters.
Yeah, I don't want to do that.
So that was a bit of luck, or rather, your commander shouting over the Vox, "Stand firm, stand firm." And now the Firehawks get to respond. They've got a tough nut to crack back here. We talked before the game. I don't typically like using beta rules. But there's a beta rule when it comes to deployment, which is you can't deep strike outside of your deployment zone in turn 1. So you said you want to follow the beta rule.
I think it's well established at this point in time, so yeah, I think we should.
Yeah. So I mean, I've got no problem with all your jumpy dudes coming out in turn 1
It
all around
doesn't
lines.
benefit me, but I think the internet would like it.
Yeah, but see, they had the beta rule when it came to Smite, and they didn't stick 100% with the beta rule for Smite. It was Smite on a 5, then a 6, then a 7, but then they said it doesn't affect Thousand Sons and Grey Knights, and I wonder if they're going to stick with the beta rule for deep striking as well. I wonder if because it seems crippling to certain armies.
It does, yeah. Especially my tower would not benefit from that at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tabletop Tactics does it.
Do they?
I'm pretty sure they do.
Well, they are the kings of YouTube, so if Tabletop Tactics do it, it's good enough for me. So let's go to Firehawks, turn 1. Here we are after the Firehawks movement phase. There is a unit of intercessors here, ready to come busting forward in later turns and try and steal that objective for me. The Hellblaster staying still along with this Dreadnought, because you're thinking about spending a command point on something called Wisdom of the Ancients, which is reroll hit rolls of 1 for a Dreadnought, which affects any chapter tactic, anything with a chapter keyword within 6 inches of him. And it'll affect himself as well because he's in range of himself.
Yep.
Long story short, he'll be re-rolling hit rolls of 1. He's hitting on a 4 now because he's a bit poorly. He'll be rolling hit rolls of 1. And the Hellblasters will be re-rolling hit rolls of 1. The Repulsor jumping down, putting as much line of sight block and terrain between most of my army and it, but still being able to thread some firepower through to the Predator or the Dreadnought in the backfield, I believe.
The Dread, yeah.
And the Storm Raven gunship has screamed across the battlefield in order to rain firepower down as well. So as the jumpy dudes are still coming down from their halo drop, the Firehawks mustering what gun they can. Let's move on to the shooting phase. Opening up the shooting phase, fire from the Storm Raven coming into this Predator. So the Melter and the missiles hitting the Predator, and then the anti-infantry guns, the assault cannon, the hurricane bolts hitting the bikers. What are we firing first, Tom?
Multi-melters.
Multi-melters, right. You would be hitting on 3s, but up to 4s because it's a heavy, but down to 3s again because Storm Ravens have power of the machine spread. They can move and fire heavy weapons as they're standing still. So 3s to hit with the 2 melters. 1 hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. 3s to wound. That's a 1.
You know what? Why
Already?
not?
Okay.
I'm going to do it already.
And that's a wound. You do manage to wound. It's AP -4, so I don't get a save. I have measured up for you. You are in multi-melter range, so it's 2d6 and pick the highest at 12 inches. And that's a 2.
I need to burn these dice.
2 damage. You've got the 2 missiles coming in as well. They were hitting on 3s. And they both hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. 1 wound. AP -3, I get a 6 up, which I fail, and they do a flat 3 damage. Yeah. So the Storm Raven took 5 wounds off the Predator. 6 wounds left on the Predator. Right, twin assault cannon coming in, and these bikes, 12 shots hitting on 3s. And that's a good spread of hits. Strength 6, toughness 5, winning on 3s. And in the end, how much did you get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
7 wounds.
Feel free to roll my dice.
No, it's fine. AP -1. So 4 up saves 7 times. And I fail 4 of them, but it's Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. I get to ignore wounds on a 6 up. Ignore one of them. 1.5 bikes dies, but now we've got 24 shots with the Hurricane Bolters because you're in rapid fire range. So Hurricane Botters, 6 shots each, that's 12. Rapid fire range, 24 times. 3s to hit. Ouch. Now looking at 5s to wound. Strength 4, toughness 5.
1, 2, 3, 4 wounds.
Just 4. 4 3-up saves. I make them all. From the Storm Raven to the Repulsor, threading the needle down through the scenery onto the Dreadnought. Now the Icarus thing is going to hit it, plus the 4 shots from the las cannons and las talon coming in. Small arms hitting these bikes here, so 4 las cannons.
Hitting on 3s.
Okay, 3 hits. Strength 9, toughness 7. 3s to wound. You get 2 wounds. 2 6-up saves. I make 1, fail 1. D6 damage. 6 damage. Which I ignore on 6-ups using Iron Hands Chapter Drop Dice. Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. He takes 5 wounds. Now the Icarus rocket pod on the back, heavy D3, but power of the machine spirit. Anyway, how many shots? 1 shot. Hits on a...
Not that.
Not that. So the Dreadnought's alive on 3 wounds left. Now the Onslaught Gatling Cannon on the bikes, hitting on 3s. 4 hits. How many? What's the strength?
Toughness, strength 5.
Is it?
Yeah.
Toughness 5.
So that's 2 wounds.
Minus?
Minus 1.
Minus 1. 4 ups. And I make them. Then 2 Stormbolters coming in. 4 shots. 3s to hit and 5s to wound. I don't do any damage. I think I've got off lightly there. Moving along the line to the Hellblasters, and they're going to be firing at the Rapier Carriers. These are 2 separate units, so putting 3 into that one, 2 into that one. Overcharging your guns.
Yep, because I spent the command point to have them reroll once.
Yes, so 3 shots with the first guy. And rerolling the ones. That's fine. 2 hits. Right, your strength 8 now, toughness 5. And they both wound. It's 2 damage each, and these have 4 damage in total, 4 wounds in total, so that one's wiped out. And then the 2 shots into this one. Rerolling ones. Both hit, 3s to wound. Both wound, 4 damage coming in, 4 wounds. Both of the rapier guns are wiped out. From the Hellblasters to the steaming injured Dreadnought, fired its small arms in at the Razorback, didn't do any damage, including the Icarus array. But now it's firing the big plasma death thing into the Predator. It can see, it's just about line of sight. Number of shots.
4.
4 shots. He's hitting on 4s because he's a bit injured. But re-rolling 1s because of Wisdom of the Ancients or something. Okay, that's pretty good. 3 hits. Strength 8 now, or 9 now.
Strength 9, yeah?
Yeah, weak, toughness 7.
So that's 2 wounds.
2 wounds.
Minus 4.
So I don't get a save, and it does 2 damage each. The Predator is on 2 wounds left. Now onto the lead Dreadnought, firing all of his guns into the bikers, except for the Icarus pod, which is going to try and pick off this Predator. So firing the heavy Onslaught Cannon and the Onslaught Cannon at the same time at the bikes. This is 18 shots. Hitting on 4s though, because it's a heavy. And then re-rolling 1s. That was 11 hits with the re-rolls. Strength 5, toughness 5, weeding off 4s.
That's pretty good.
That was pretty okay. I'll use your dice. It's minus 1, so 4 ups. And then 6 up, Iron Hands, Chapter Tactics. 1 bike falls. 2 Stormbolters. And only 2 hits. 5s to wound.
Nothing.
No wounds. And then the Icarus thingy-bob, which is D3 shots, which is 3 shots. Now you moved, it's a heavy, so it's a 4. And you're shooting a non-flyer, so 5s to hit.
Yeah.
But you do reroll 1s. And you miss everything. And that's the end of the Firehawk shooting phase. And apart from taking out these 2 rapier carriers here, they really kill nothing. They kill a biker, but they've severely crippled the Predator. It's going to be hitting on 5s, I think. The Dreadnoughts don't degrade, but not as much bang as I suspected.
Yeah, clearly there's a lot of chaos work.
There's no chaos work going on here. Everything's normal, nothing to see here. Mind you, you've still got turn 2 coming up, and your jumpy dudes can drop down all over the place and sow havoc in amongst my lines. So I think I'm going to need to push forward and push the deep strike back. So let's go on to the 13th, turn 2. Here we are after the movement phase, and both of the tactical squads inside these 2 Razorbacks here got out, disembarked and advanced all the way forward up onto the train tracks up here, trying to push the deep strike back because our Auspex is picking up things in the sky hurtling down through orbit. The bike is advancing a little bit as well for a counter punch, just in case they decide to come down on this flank. The two rapier gunner guys also tried to advance forward along with the scouts, and I think I rolled 3 ones for all of those squads. So they didn't advance very far forward as well, because I would like to have had them all the way up here just to push that deep strike back. But not so far on the left, very far on the right. The stern guard got outside of the Rhino, which left a big gap here. And there's a Storm Raven there hopping up and over, landing here and murdering stuff. So after they got out, the Rhino moved back to plug this gap to make sure that that Storm Raven doesn't come in and hurt me. And then bikes pushing this way. These guys were here to plug the gap. And this is the squad that were right next to the Storm Raven. Essentially, what happens at the start of the movement phase is there's a dreadnought in that, and it can get out. So I've ringed around it. These guys are racing and racing and racing around it, denying that a good DZ for the dreadnought. The dreadnought could jump out the back and start murdering his way through, but at least it pushes the dreadnought back as well. So I'm trying to increase the size of my footprint to neuter this on-rushing Firehawks chapter. Let's go on to the psychic phase. I'm going to put Might Heroes on a Razorback. Let's do that. That fails. And then I'm going to smite with my second psychic power. And that passes. That's a 9. The closest enemy unit within 18-inch range is the Storm Raven. And it takes 3 wounds. And then all of these bikers, including Locke, fired up at that Storm Raven and took it down to 7 wounds remaining. Some grav rounds getting in there. Now the Dreadnought. Now I should fire at the Storm Raven, but that's a 4-point objective over there. And autocannons do 2 damage each. And I've started chipping away. So let's keep chipping away. 3s to hit. And 3s to wound. So 5 wounds at -1, but +1 because you're in terrain. But 2 damage each. And you fail 3 of them. 3 of the intercessors fall, leaving 1 left. That's good, because if that guy dies, and hopefully he will, then Tom's going to have to divert some of his assets to go back and look after that objective down there. Brilliant stuff. Right, now let's start picking on those dreadnoughts. The rapier squads fired at them, did nothing. This Razorback fired in at that dreadnought, managing to do 2 wounds. You have 2 4-up saves, sir, because it's an assault cannon. And you make them both. Then, of course, to this Predator, I think I'm going to have to fire at the one at the back. You can see me, I can see you, but I'm hitting on 5s now. So let's fire these 2 las cannons at the injured one. And I both miss. And then the Predator auto cannon, 2d3 shots. Only 2 shots hitting on 5s. And re-rolling 1s. And everything misses. The Predator did nothing. So on to the Stern Guard, spending a command point for masterful marksmanship. So it's +1 for them to wound as they fire their special issue bolt guns into that lead dreadnought there. It's a 30-inch range, so I'm in rapid fire range now and re-rolling hit rolls of 1 because of the captain there. So hitting on 3s 16 times, re-rolling 1s. Didn't get a 1, but I did get 17 hits. What am I talking about? 15 hits. Now, it's strength 4, toughness 7. It would be 5s to wound, but with masterful marksmanship, I'm wounding on 4s. That's not a lot of wounds. After all those hits, I only get 4 wounds through. They're AP -2, so 1 damage each. And you only take 2 wounds. So the Stern Guard might be masterful marksmen, but their bolt guns cannot dent the steel hide of that dreadnought. Perhaps Matthias here, my dreadnought, can finally crack open the injured dreadnought in the backfield. Heavy 4 ×2, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. I rolled 3 1s. 4 hits. Strength 7, toughness 7, 4s, re-rolling 1s. I'm right next to Lieutenant. All 4 wounds. -1, 2 damage each on that dreadnought.
And it's gone.
That's a dead dreadnought. Does it explode?
No.
Ammo does not cook off. It just crumples. 1 dreadnought down. Let's take out the other one. Twin las cannons from this Razorback going in at this dreadnought here. 3s to hit. Re-rolling 1s. Both hit. 3s to wound. Re-rolling 1s. Both wound. 2 6s.
No.
2d6 damage. 9 damage. Las Cannon's number 2 coming through. 3s to hit. Rerolling 1s. And 3s to wound. Both wound. 2 more 6s on the Dreadnought. You make 1 d6 damage. 5. Dead Dreadnought. Which does not explode. Both Dreadnoughts ripped open. Then after the second Dreadnought falls down, we fired in with both of the Thunderfire cannons and the Scouts into the Hellblasters over here, killing a couple more, only leaving 3 left. And then I did something very silly. I thought, let's fire. I should have fired the Devastators down in at the Hellblasters and entirely finished them off. But instead I thought, hey, let's fire at that Storm Raven. It's only on 7 wounds left. But with 4s to hit, and yeah, I didn't do anything. The Storm Raven is still chugging through the air. I should have continued to throw my firepower down on the unit that I had started to whittle away. And that is the end of the 13th, turn 2. How many Hellblasters did you lose in the end?
2.
2, so your morale's going to be okay. You lost 3 over there, so if you rolled a 6 plus 3 is 9, and your leadership is 9, because you're using Ultramarines chapter tactics, so no morale to take. However, the 13th have done a sterling job in blowing apart the armour and the units that were pressing down towards their line, so it looks like it's going to be an uphill battle for the Firehawks. However, a noise of burning retro jets fills the air as they descend on wings of fire. Let's go to Firehawks. Turn 2. Here we are after the Firehawks movement phase. Some very precise moving and measuring and tactical stuff happening all over the place. Tom has a plan, don't you, Tom?
Vaguely.
A vague plan is happening here. So we've got the captain landing in and amongst this terrain piece here and re-rolling hit rolls of 1 with these jumpy dudes, those jumpy dudes, the Hellblasters and the Storm Raven, which will be hit on 4s now because it's slightly nerfed, but everything there able to throw firepower down this way, and these guys have stuck their heads out as well. 30-inch range bolt rifles should be able to pick on this unit as well. And he doesn't like the Stern Guard after I did what I did, which is basically very little with them against your Dreadnought. However, versus infantry, they could sting. So you want to put some firepower in on the Stern Guard, and that unit of jumpy dudes are in range. Everything's piling forward as well now, including this repulsor. Now, unlimited vertical movement, moving 10 inches forward, has ended up all the way up there. There's still some aggressors inside of there, which could potentially disembark and then move and then start charging into my lines next turn as well. So there is a noose around me. The Venerable Dreadnought jumped out of the Storm Raven and moved before the Storm Raven shot off. And we've got some more jumpy dudes up here as well. Now, they're in cover. They're in a terrain piece, so they will have a 2-up cover save. A unit of intercessors poking through the gap as well. Lots of thinking, lots of brain power, lots of umming and ahhing. The Firehawks have got precious few assets left, so they need to make this punch count. Let's go on to the shooting phase. Right, starting off the shooting phase, this unit of jumpy dudes firing in at the Stern Guard here. 24 shots, hitting on 3s and re-rolling 1s. That was 20 hits with the re-roll, strength 5, toughness 4, wounding on 3s. And it's AP -1. So I need to make a bunch of 4-up saves. And then 6-ups. Yeah, actually, that hurt. How many was that? That was 8. 6-up, Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. You wipe out the unit of Stern Guard with ease. That worked, Tom. You look surprised.
Yeah, it really was, actually.
Right, what are we doing now?
Well, I was planning shooting him at them, but plans are changing.
Okay, you have to find another target for the Storm Raven now. All right, we come back to the Storm Raven. This unit of intercessors fired across into this tactical squad, killing 1. Now we've got this unit of 4 jumpy dudes. You're putting 2 into this one and 2 into that one?
Yeah.
So that's 12 shots coming this way, 12 shots coming that way. What are we doing? This one first?
Well, everyone's going to shoot the left gun at them.
Right, and they're right guns.
Right gun at them because they're angled for it.
Yeah, okay. 3s to hit.
Rerun 1s.
That was 11 hits with the re-rolls. Now 3s to wound. And no re-rolling here.
No.
Okay, so 6 wounds at -1. 4s? Oh no. I should stop using your dice. Maybe you should stop using your dice as well because it sucks.
Yeah, that's pretty
6
bad.
ups. Okay, so you wiped out that unit to a man. And now 12 more shots coming in to the second unit. 3s and re-rolling 1s. 10 hits. 3s to wound. Nice. Okay, so that was 7. Oh, 7 4-up saves because it's -1. Oh, I made a couple this time. And 6 up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics.
My dice rolled 6, wow.
Yeah, I know. I lost 1 guy. Then the captain fired in, killing 1 more. Right, now we've got these 3 Hellblasters. What are we doing with them, Tom?
I'm shooting at the Predator.
Predator, are we overcharging?
Yes, we are.
Okay, only 3 left. 3 shots hitting on 3s. And 2 hits. Right, that gets you to strength 8. You need 3s to wound. And you get 1 wound through. At AP -4, doing 2 damage. And I've only got 2 damage left. Don't get a save. That 1 shot cripples the Predator. Does it blow up? No, it doesn't blow up. It just melts it to slag. Leaving the Storm Raven for now. And the Repulsor. Moving down the line. What are we doing? Dreadnought.
Dreadnought's going to put all his shots into him.
Is he?
Yeah.
So what are you thinking? Are you thinking of shooting this, then assaulting them?
Yeah.
I like it. That's very tactical. Okay, so it's an assault cannon, 6 shots. You're venerable though, so you're hitting on 3s, not 2s, because it's heavy. And that's 4 hits, and you're wounding on 5s. And you don't get any wounds in. But you are in rapid fire range of the Stormbolt, which is 4 shots, hitting on 3s, and wounding on 5s. And you get 2 through. The Dreadnought's got 3 wounds left, however, so 3 3-up saves, and make it. Dreadnought's still on 3 wounds left. Now we've got some jumpy dudes in this tank. I think the jumpy dudes can only really fire at that or that. I don't know if you're in range of the Dread. Right, measuring up just out of range of the Dreadnought. So all of the shots from the jumpy dudes come into this unit. 3 bikers here. 24 shots, hitting on 3s. No re-rolls this time though. That was 19 hits. Strength 5, toughness 5, wounding on 4s. And it's AP -1. So I need to make a bunch of 4-up saves. 2 wounds each, bikers, though. I didn't make a bunch of 4-up saves. I failed a bunch. I only passed 4 saves there. So these are 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. And 1 bike dead, 2 bikes dead, 3 bikes dead. Perfect efficiency there. This unit wiped out. And now for the bikes for the intercessors. Threading the needle. Trying to hit this Dreadnought. 3s to hit. And 5s to wound. Nothing. Right, back to the Repulsor. Split and fire, because that works well. The 2 las cannon shots coming down this way. The twin las cannon, right?
Yep.
And then the las Talon, which is a 24-inch range 2-shot las cannon, is in range of the Dreadnought as well as the other guns. So all the other guns coming into this Dreadnought. Basically, picking on 2 Dreadnoughts here. What one are we firing at first, sir?
Shooting at Brother Matthews.
You don't like him, do you?
I want to shoot him to bits.
Okay, 2 las cannon shots, hitting on 3s. 1 hit, wounding on A3. And it wounds, 6-up save. Which I failed, D6 damage. 3 damage. Now the last cannon, firing down at the injured Dreadnought, 3s to hit. Only 1 hit, 3s to wound. That does wound, 6-up save, which I fail, and you do 3 damage. I've got 3 wounds left. 3 Iron Hands Chapter Tactics saves. He's alive on 1 left. You're going to have to put more gun into him.
I'm glad I announced it.
Icarus firing down.
D3 shots?
Yep.
2 shots?
2 shots.
Hitting on 4s.
Yes.
1 hit.
Oh, okay. Wounding on a 4. That's a wound. That is a failed save. I think it does D3 damage. No, it just does 1 damage, so 1 6-up save. Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. No, it falls. You take out this Dreadnought. Does it blow up? No, it does not. Now the last thing left to fire. The Storm Raven is in 6-inch range of the Captain, and measuring up very carefully, you are in multi-melter double tap range of the Razorback. So the multi-melter is going to the Razorback, right? And then you said everything else of Brother Matthias.
Yeah.
You really don't like that Dreadnought.
I'm afraid of him. He scares me.
It's a 2 damage, these Dreadnoughts, so they're Primaris Marine killers essentially. If you take out both of the Dreadnoughts, if you've taken out one of them, then you're definitely in with a chance.
I just need to mind everything into him.
Everything.
I'm too afraid of him.
You're too afraid? Don't be afraid of him.
He scares me.
You won't just.
He's the stuff of nightmares.
He is the stuff of nightmares. He is your nemesis. If anyone's been following battle reports, whenever I field him, you tend to lose bad.
It's true, actually.
So, what are we doing first?
The mortar martyrs.
Okay, not in double tap range, but forced to hit because you're injured. Rerolling. Oh, and they both missed. The stuff of nightmares happens. 2 missiles.
I'm going to re-roll one of them.
Are you?
Yeah.
It hits. Wounds on a 3.
No.
Doesn't wound. Okay, 2 missiles. 4s. They both hit. Strength 8, toughness 7. They both wound. I need 2 6s to stay alive. I make 1. And it does 3 damage. So 3. 6 up on Enhanced Chapter Tactics. I fail all 3 of them. Matthias is down to 2 wounds left. Now you've got 12 shots with that assault cannon. What's the worst that can happen? Hitting on 4s. Rerolling 1s.
It's pretty good though. It's really good.
Pretty good so far. It's the wounding part with this assault cannon because you're strength 6, I'm toughness 5. So you need 5s to wound. And
1, 2.
Just 2. -1, so 2 4-ups. He fails 1, 6 up. He passes that. He's got 2 wounds left. And now you've got 12 shots with your hurricane bolts to try and take him out. 3s, 4s to hit because you're injured, rerolling the 1s. And now you need 5s. Good luck, sir.
I got 1, 2, 3 this time.
3 wounds, 2 to get through. 3 3-up saves. And make them all.
Can you start using my dice?
So the Storm Raven pilot fails to take out on her brother Matthias, and that is the end of the shooting phase. But that was a very successful phase. The battle grid suddenly looks completely different. Tactical squad there wiped out, Stern Guard wiped out, unit of bikes wiped out, Predator wiped out, Dreadnought wiped out. I think you killed 5 or 6 units just with your guns. And now we've got some assaults coming on. We've got a Venerable Dreadnought about to smash into the bikers on that side. And are you going to charge with any of these guys up here?
Yeah, I'll think about it.
Okay, let's do some thinking.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah?
My captain will charge them.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Combi Plasma, Overwatch, misses. And the other two rapid fire guns. 1 hit. Wounds. You take a wound. And this is the guy who's got a reroll charge for his warlord trait.
No, actually, it's the other one.
Is it?
Can I reroll that?
You can, yeah, it's the charge phase. He saves, you're okay. Right, let's see how far you charge in.
Oh, he makes it.
10? He's in. Now charging in with the Inceptors as well.
Yeah!
Oh, they make it in. Oh no. It's all beginning to come together. The Inceptors make it through there, making sure the captain is not unsupported.
Yeah, my prediction for the end of the game is everyone will be dead apart from Matthias.
Yeah, I like it. And then over here as well, the Venerable Dreadnought made it in. He is within inch of that biker squad there. But Tom is keeping him tucked round there, where he's blocking line of sight using the crate that the scouts are hiding inside. He did lose a wound to Overwatch to a grav gun on the way in. Right, let's fight. Right, back over here. 3 of these managed to make it in base contact. Inceptors do impact hits on a roll of a 6.
Can I borrow 3 dice, please?
Yes, you can.
I'm not rolling mine for this.
You need 6s. Nope, and that would have been mortal wounds. And now we're going to fight. No mortal wounds caused at the end of the charge phase. Now the captain's swinging. He hits on 2s with his Relic Blade. And he rerolls 1s. Okay, you're all good. Relic Blade strength 6, so winning on 3s. Only 1 wound at -3 AP. At which I fail. D3 damage. 3 damage, 3 in Iron Hands, Chapter Tactics. No, 1 of them is dead. Leaving 2 Marines left alive. Now your Inceptors can fight. They've got 2 attacks each. The Sergeant's got an extra attack. So it's quite a lot of attacks coming in. 9 attacks, hitting on 3s. And re-rolling those 1s. 3 1s there. And now you need 4s to wound. That's better. 4 wounds, 4 3-up saves. And I make them all. They only kill 1 dude. So that was a disappointing fight. Still a good move though. I'm going to have to fall back in order to shoot at this unit here. I can't shoot at them while they're engaged. And also it gives Tom some additional penetration, some additional ball control. He's right up in my grill now. Okay, let's go across to the Venerable Dreadnought. It's Venerable, so he's hitting on 2s. And that's a lot of hits. He's wounding on 2s because he's got a massive Dreadnought Power Fist. They all wound. This is -3 AP. And I make one of them, and it does a flat 3 damage. So 3 wounds to that guy, 3 6-ups, he's dead. 3 wounds to the other guy, he's dead. 3 wounds to the other guy, 6-up by Untitled Chapter Tactics. He's alive. And it looks like this, and Tom choosing not to consolidate and come forward out into the open. Now it's my turn, and I select a unit within an inch of an enemy model. Now my bikers are no longer within an inch of him, so I don't get to fight. But it does mean that I can move on and shoot. I'm not going to be falling back out of combat with those guys here. And then over here I have my sergeant and the last remaining tactical marine. I think, do I pick on your captain or do I pick on the jumpy dudes? Let's pick on the jumpy dudes. 3s to hit, 2 hits, and 5s to wound, because they're toughness 5. I don't do any wounds. Right, that's the end of the fight phase. Now morale is a thing. I lost 3 guys there. 3 plus 5 is 8. The sergeant's still in there. So they hang in there, and then everything else you shot at is been wiped out or doesn't need a morale test. And that was a shockingly effective turn from the Firehawks. Essentially, the left flank here has collapsed. There's still some 5 tactical marines in there, but that's pretty much it. This rhino's empty. The dreadnought's gone. The predator's gone. The left flank has collapsed. And we've got Firehawks and Captains and Storm Ravens and Hellblasters right up in my grill.
Clearly what happened was Chaos is fickle. They were on your side at the beginning, but then they changed their mind.
You keep talking about this Chaos Imperium thing.
Yeah. Well, you are kind of like the Trade Marines, aren't you?
No, we're not.
Then why are the Firehawks fighting you? Why are the Firehawks fighting you?
Because they're really, they're the cursed founding chapter, right? Firehawks?
Yes.
And then they all went a bit nutty when they went on that Nurgle world.
A bit, yes.
Yes, and so what did they do after they went a bit nutty? They went back in the warp, right?
Well, they had to.
They had to, and probably became the Legion of the Damned, probably. And now Belisarius Cawl and Gulliman, who cannot be trusted, is playing around with their gene seed and making more Firehawks.
Wait, so you just admit Gilliman can't be trusted?
1 minute. No, I am Imperium. I don't fight with Chaos and Tyranids or anything.
Yeah, well, they were on the right side fighting against Van Dyke. I think they're on the right side fighting against the 13th. I'm just saying that.
Right, we're going on to 13th, turn 3. Okay, that took longer than it should have for any decent human being with a brain because I've got very few assets left. So looking around the battle grid, there's threats up at this side of the table. The scouts that were inside of the crate have come out. And there's still got a grav gun there. Need to take on that dreadnought. This thing had to move back so it can take shots on that dreadnought as well. Need to clear away that threat before aggressors and jumpy dudes and other things come in and annihilate my units there. There's still 5 tactical marines in there chilling. There's no upgrades on them. They're just sat there waiting. But I think this objective is going to be hard fought over. And then Gabriel Locke, zip forward, 14-inch range for bikes going forward. There's a captain there, enemy Firehawk captain. Captain versus captain fight coming up, I think. And then the castle staying still except for this unit of bikes coming around. Essentially, I need to deal with this threat. If I push back this threat and the Storm Raven, then it pushes my opponent back and back and back. I need to deal with the things right in front of me. Beforehand, I had choices with target priority, but now not so much. Now they're in my grill. So let's move on to the psychic phase. Let's start off with the librarian casting Might of Heroes onto Locke. That'll get his toughness up, but more importantly his attacks, because he's going to go in and try and kill that warlord. I need a 6. And it passes, finally.
I can deny.
Okay, you need an 8. And you deny it. No Might of Heroes. Let's smite. Smite passes on a 5. It will hit the Storm Raven on 7 wounds left and take another 2 off of it and put it down to 5 left. Right, shooting phase. Let's start left to right. Over here, chuck a grenade and firing the combi grav and the twin bolter. Grenade hits. Needs a 5. Doesn't wound. Right, grav. 1 hit. Needs a 5. Strength 5, toughness 7. That's a wound. -3 AP for a grav, which you fail. And it does D3 damage because your armor save is 3 or more. So 2 damage on your Venerable Dread. It's down to 5 left. And now twin bolt guns on both of the bikes. Come here, you. In rapid fire range. And I need 5s. And I get 1. 3-up save.
Oh.
And you fail. Down to 4 left. Right, these guys are going to chuck a grenade and fire pistols. So let's fire the 5 pistols in from the scouts. 3s, 4 hits and 5s. No wounds. Chuck a grenade, pull the pin, and it hits, and just, it's a dud. It doesn't do anything. Right, 12 shots from the assault cannon coming in from the Razorback. This will hit on 4s because I moved, and it's heavy, and that's not good. That was only 4 hits. Strength 6, toughness 7, no wounds. That Venerable Dreadnought shrugged off so much firepower there, only taking 3 wounds. Moving along the line, I'm going to fire the Stormbolter from the Rhino. I'm going to fire the Scouts. These guys are going to fire a pistol, chuck a grenade. These guys fire a pistol, chuck a grenade. Everything down at those jumpy dudes there next to that captain. And when the smoke clears, only cause 1 wound on the jumpy dudes. That's not good enough. So let's fire these bikers in. So I have a grav gun, combi grav, and lots of twin bolters. Here are the gravs, 18-inch, so 9-inch rapid fire. And only 2 hits. Strength 5, toughness 5 though. They're in Gravis armor. 1 wound at -3 AP. And you make it. Okay. Twin bolt gun death. 1 wound. I did 1 wound. 1 3-up save. Oh, yeah. Twin bolt gun death did work. I did finally kill one. Yay. Right. Across to the Devastators. The bolt gun, heavy bolt gun, can see these guys, so he's going to fire in, as well as 2 of the bolt guns. Then the 3 las cannons are going to fire up at that Storm Raven. And as I'm firing the heavy bolt gun in down here one more time, I'm going to use Hellfire Shells for 1 more command point. And the Signum, so I hit on a 2, and I hit just, and it will do D3 mortal wounds to the jumpy dudes for 1 mortal wound. Let's command point that for 1 mortal wound on the jumpy dudes. Then the bolt gun fired in, 1 wound, 1 3-up save. Yay, I killed 1.
Yeah, I'll accept that.
Yeah, okay, 2 jumpy dudes gone. Now the 3 las cannons are going to fire in at that Storm Raven. Forced to hit though, because you're flying. And I hit twice. Strength 9, toughness 7, 3s to wound. 1 wound. You need a 6-up save, which you fail. How many wounds has it got left? 5. D6 damage for a las cannon. Have I taken out the pilot? No, I have not. Just blown a hole through the wing. It's got 3 wounds left. So let's fire this Razorback up at it. 4s to hit with the las cannons. Both hit. 3s to wound. Both wound. 2 6-up saves. No, 2d6 damage. And we have a Storm Raven down. We have a Storm Raven down. Which does not blow up, just crashes and burns, or rather flies off the battle grid, trailing smoke behind it. Beautiful. I got rid of 1 target finally. Now the sniper's getting down at line of sight and having a good look because of the gantry and because of all these this terrain pieces in the way. Can't actually see the jumpy dudes, but 4 of the snipers can draw a bead to that captain, and because they're sniper weaponry, I can pick on him. So let's pick on him. 3s to hit. 3 hits. I need 4s to wound. No wounds. This squad fell back, can't do anything. So las cannons and Brother Matthias and some Thunderfire cannons left. Now I could put the las cannons up at that Redemptor, that repulsor, but I'm not going to do anything to him. So I'm thinking about firing las cannons at point blank range into these 2 jumpy dudes. I know it's rude, but I'm going to do it. 3s to hit from the Razorback. Both hit. Strength 9, toughness 5. Now I need 3s to wound still. And only 1 wound. You do get a 6-up save, which you fail. D6 damage. 1 of them gets vaporized. Leaving 1 left. Right, getting down. Drawing line of sight. Matthias can see you. So I'm going to fire 1 of the guns, heavy 4, at that last remaining jumpy dude, and the other heavy 4 at the other unit of jumpy dudes. So at the 1 remaining guy, 3s to hit, re-rolling 1s because Solgaro's shouting in his ear. Strength 7, re-rolling 1s because there's a lieutenant. So 2 wounds at -1, so 2 4-up saves, which you make them both. And then 4 shots into this unit, into the second unit, 3 hits, 3s to wound, 2 wounds, so 2 4-up saves. And you fail both of them.
I'm going to command point 1 of these.
Yep, okay.
Yeah.
And you fail only 1. It does 2 damage, killing 1 of them off. And the last thing left to fire were the Thunderfire cannons. I hummed and ahed about it for a while, but then I decided to fire up and over 60-inch range and rain fire down from the sky onto the last remaining intercessor in the home field objective of the Firehawks. It took both of the Thunderfire cannons to take him out, but he's taken out. And now that's worth 4 points to you.
Yeah, it is.
So if you want that, you're going to have to go back for it, which pulls you away from my lines. So yeah, I could have dropped them at some jumpy dudes instead, but no, I think that's tactics. Right, let's do some charging now. These guys are going to charge in. I think the scouts will eat the Overwatch, but what I'm really interested in is to see if Gabriel Locke can get in against your captain. So let's see how far he goes. Oh yeah, he'll make it in. And the scouts go piling in there as well. So Gabriel Locke is not unsupported. We're going to have a captain on captain showdown. And then over here, the scouts and the last two remaining Brikers make it into that venerable dreadnought. This could be a very bad idea, but I need to try and lock you up at least. Right, let's go on to the fight phase. Let's start here. Oh no, if I start here, you could probably spend 2 command points to interrupt. You've got 3 left. So let's start with Gabriel Locke. And he's got 4 attacks on the charge with his Relic Blade, and he hits on 2s. And that was 5 dice for some reason. That's what came out of my pocket. But let's say all 4 hit. I'm strength 4, your toughness 4. I'm strength 6 with the Relic Blade, sorry, your toughness 4. So I'm winning on 3s. They all wound. And 4 Iron Halos, unless he has... Is that a Storm Shield or...
Oh, he has the Relic to give a 3+ vulnerable save.
Does he? He's the guy... Okay. Yeah, with us. Yeah, I remember now.
1 wound.
1 wound. This does D3 damage for 3 damage. So that captain's down to 2 wounds left. Do you want to pay anything to interrupt?
No.
No, okay. So let's go with these scouts as well. There's 5 normal scouts. They hit on 3s. And I rolled the right number of dice this time. They will wound on 4s. 3 wounds. 3 up saves. Down to 1 wound left. And now the sergeant has a sword. He hits twice. Power sword. He wounds on 4s. He wounds once. 1 3-up save with the... or he falls. He's alive. He's still alive. That captain hanging in there. Right. Let's go across to try and hurt this dreadnought. I'll do all of the attacks together minus the sword. Basically, the biker sergeant, the biker, and the normal scouts all hit and wound this guy the same, which is 3s and 5s. I did 3 wounds. And you fail a save. He's down to 3 wounds left. And then my sergeant has a power sword. He hits on 3s. And he wounds on 5s. I did a wound, and that's minus 3 AP. And you fail that save. He's down to 2 wounds left. Now that's all the assaulting units. Now you get a punch back. From there, we're going back to the captain over here. You're fighting... Who are you hitting? Are you going to hit the scouts, or are you going to hit Gabriel Locke?
Gabriel Locke.
Okay, I like it. 4s to hit. 2s to hit. What am I talking about? 2s to hit with 4 dice. Rerolling 1s. So everything hits. You got Relic Blade as well, right?
Yep.
So 3, strength 6, toughness 5, 3s to wound.
2 wounds.
2 wounds. I have a Storm Shield. So 2 3-up and vulnerable saves. And make them both. Now we go back to your Dreadnought, sir. Venerable Dreadnought. Where are you putting your attacks?
All against the bikes.
All on the bikes. Hitting on 2s with 4 attacks. Yeah, that's pretty good. And wounding on 2s. 3 wounds, 3 6-up saves. It is minus 3, right?
Yes, it is.
3 6s. We do not bend. And that's the end of the fight phase. And at the end of the fight phase, I'm spending 3 command points, putting me down to 4 command points left for Honour the Chapter. Gabriel Locke is going to swing one more time. A unit that has already fought can fight infantry or biker. He's a biker. He's going to take down this HQ of the Firehawks. At least that's what I hope. 2s to hit. Everything hits. 3s to wound. Oh no, only 1 wound. Am I going to spend another command point? Yes, I am. Okay, that cost me 4 command points to get 2 wounds through. You need 2 3-up and vulnerable saves. And you fail 1. Oh no! He falls. I got 3 command points left. You got 2 command points left. That cost a lot of command points, but Gabriel Locke honoured the chapter, honoured the 13th, and took out the second in command of the Firehawks. That's the end of the 13th's turn 3. We've got a jumpy dude here. Morale test. No, he's a sergeant. Your Ultramarines chapter tactics, even if you're a 6 plus 3 is 9, you'll still be alive. You'll still be okay. So 1 jumpy dude. These 3 guys, there's still some aggressors in there. However, you're going to have to go back for that objective at some point to guarantee yourself a point.
Yeah.
I don't think I can zip all the way over there. If I manage to zip a biker unit over there, and the only biker unit I've got left is Gabriel Locke, I could steal that for 4 command points. Oh yeah, but we said the bikers couldn't get up there at the start of the game. Vehicles, and these guys are floating above it, but a bike can't drive up there. I'd have to run up there on foot. Very interesting stuff. I have been pushed right back into this corner. This is essentially the nugget, the nut in my fruit, the cherry on my cake, the brain melting. I'm trying to say I'm mainly here, and I've got some other bits out here. Meanwhile, the Firehawks have still got some mobility, still got some assets left, and if they manage to hit just as hard as they did last time, it could sting. This fight is a long way from over. Can you get the nut from my...
I'm not even trying.
Okay, let's go to Firehawks turn 3. See, that's what happens when I don't have a cup of tea. Brain just shuts down. Do you want a tea? I'd love
Not
it.
really, no. My coffee would be nice, though.
I'll get you coffee.
Great.
The Firehawks continue to push their advance with the Intercessors and the Hellblasters coming round here. Precious few assets, but the Repulsor... I think it's the Repulsor, has jumped down after unloading its cargo of aggressors, and the captain, the Warlord's boots, are finally on the table. Now the Venerable Dreadnought can't break out of combat, can't climb up onto there. He's got stubby little legs, so he's locked in there. He would have liked to have pulled them out so he could then shoot and charge him, but for now he's locked up. Either way, he should be able to munch through them sooner or later, if not in the Firehawks assault phase, maybe in my assault phase, and it looks like this objective is going to be pretty secure. The unit of Intercessors that were under there are hoofing it back towards the home ground, the objective up on that gantry there. So Firehawk spread all across the line. Now let's go on to the shooting phase. Okay, where are we starting, Tom?
4 of these guys are going to the captain.
Yes.
1 is going into the scout.
Yeah, we measured up. He is closest to 4 of them. You are in rapid fire range. You don't like Locke, huh?
Don't like them at all.
Okay. 3's to hit. And 5's to wound, because I am on a bike, so my toughness is 1 higher. But it is AP minus 1. I have a 3-up and vulnerable save, which I pass. And then 1 into the scouts, you said? Both miss. Alright, next.
This guy on his own
Yes.
is going to shoot into Locke.
Okay, that's 6 shots with the assault bolters. 3's to hit. Strength 5, toughness 5. 1 wound, 1 3-up and bun, which I make. All of them into him?
No, because he can't. 1 of this guy is going to go into him.
Yes.
The other 2 are going to go into the bikes.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay, so the 1 into Locke. All hit.
All but 1.
All but 1. 5s, 4s, sorry.
1 again.
1 more wound. 3-up and bun. And I make it. So Locke takes all the shots. Now 12 shots coming into the bikes. 3's to hit.
Oof.
That's bad.
I do need a captain around, I reckon.
Yes, you do. 4's to wound. Strength 5, toughness 5. Only 1 wound. 2 wounds. Minus 1, so 2 4-ups. Which I pass them both again. Right, that's this little lot done. On to the Hellblasters. What are we doing?
I'm going to supercharge them into...
You're going to supercharge?
Yeah.
They're not re-rolling 1s.
Nope. 1 to Brother Matthews.
Into Matthew. You really don't like him?
I really want to kill him.
3's to hit. And there's a 1. One of them dies.
Command point.
Command point. Okay, 2 hits. Strength 8, toughness 7 now.
Ooh.
And they both get through. And I don't get a save. That'll do 4 damage. Double damage each. He has 2 wounds left. 6 up. Iron Hands. Chapter Tactics. And he falls. Does he explode? No, he does not. You took him out, Tom. That means you're going to win now, right?
Yes, it does.
Right, where are we going now?
1 into them.
Yes.
1 into them.
Yes.
2 into the scouts.
Okay, spraying fire everywhere. So plunging fire from the Inceptors fires in, killing these 2 gunners, one of the gunners and 4 scouts next to Gabriel Locke there. And now we have the aggressors firing all their flamers into this rhino, auto-hitting that number of times. They bathe the rhino in flame, 25 hits. Winning on 5s though, strength 4, toughness 7. These aggressors are mainly used as horde killers, but that looks like a lot of wounds. 12 wounds out of 25, 3 up saves. Wow, I said mainly horde killers, but you take 5 wounds straight off that rhino. Then the last thing left to fire is going to be the repulsor. The las cannon and the twin lasers going into this razorback here. 4 las cannon shots going in. Icarus into the bikes and the small arms into the troops, trying to clear away those scoring options, splitting fire all over the place. Right, let's do the las into the razorback. 3s to hit. And you miss all of the shots.
Wow.
Then after failing to dent the razorback, the repulsor does put a wound on the bikes and clears away those scouts with ease. And that's the end of the Firehawk shooting phase. Now we're on to the charge phase. The aggressors have declared a charge against the razorback. I failed to hit them on Overwatch. 7-inch charge, sir. 7, they're in. And the captain's going to jump down and support the dreadnought next to these bikes. And he'll make it in as well. After charging, they end up like this. Is that it for the charge phase, sir?
No, I'm not charged. Or listen to him. This unit first.
Really? Into lock?
Yeah.
That's suicide. Let's chuck a grenade. No, I miss. Really? You want to put them into my captain?
Yes, I do.
Alright, 4 impact hits. You need 6s.
Come on, 4 6s. You can probably do this.
There's no 6s there.
Then what's well?
Okay, now which assaulting unit do you want to declare first? Charging units go first.
Well, seeing as I'm probably going to whiff with that, and I'm going to do the aggressors.
Do the aggressors?
Yeah, I'm going to do the aggressors first.
Okay, punching this razorback. Right, aggressors have 2 attacks, each sergeant has 3, so 9 attacks, hitting on 4s with Flamestorm gauntlets, and that's still pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this gets you up to strength 8, because it's strength times 2, plus toughness 7, so 3s to wound. 5 wounds, minus 3 AP, right?
Yep.
So I need 6s, and I make 2 of them, so 2 D3 damage a time. So the razorback has 5 wounds left, then across to the captain, striking with the sword or the fist? Fist, okay. 5 attacks, hitting on 3s with the fist.
Rerolling 1s.
Rerolling 1s, there's 2 1s right there. And you get 3 hits. This gets you to strength 8, toughness 5, 3s to wound. Everything wounds. So 3 6 up saves. I fail 2 of them, so D3 damage a time. The first one, right, 6 up. I make it. And the second one does 3, so 2 6 ups. And the captain just kills 1 because the wounds don't spill over. Clearly the captain just jumped off the balcony and smashed into those bikers there, and they managed to scatter in time, leaving just the sergeant left alive. Now we have the dreadnought. 1 attack going into the bike, right?
Yep.
And 3 into the scouts. So 1 on the bike, 2's to hit because you're venerable. Rerolling 1s as a captain right next to you. Okay, you do hit. And you do wound. 6 up. And I make the save on the bike again. Shocking. Now the scouts. And rerolling. Okay, they all hit. And they all wound. I won't get any saves. Each does 3 damage. 3 6 up on the first scout. Second scout. Third scout. You kill 3 scouts. From there, over here, we're going to do all the aggressors at the same time. Interceptors and jumpy dudes all at the same time. So it's 10 attacks because there's 2 sergeants in there. 3s to hit. And these are strength 4. So you're going to need 5s to wound because I'm toughness 5 on a bike. And you get 3 wounds in. That's good. So I need 3 up saves. And Gabriel Locke makes them all. And that's all the charging units done. Right, Locke will swing back. This guy's on his own. And there's a unit of 3. So I'm going to put 2 attacks into that one, 2 attacks into that one. The 2 attacks into the lone guy, hitting on 2s. And it's strength 6 with a relic blade. It wounds once, minus 3 AP. And d6 damage. Nope, so that kills 1 of the jumpy dudes. 2 attacks into the other one. Rerolling 1s. So 2 hits, wounding on 3s. 1 wound. 1 failed save, d3 damage. Kills another one. So he takes out 2 guys on his own. 2 jumpy dudes left. Then we're over here. Let's do these attacks into your dreadnought. The 2 normal scouts both hit. I need 5s. 1 wound, which you make, and then the 2 with a power sword, both hit. 1 wound at -3. No, the Venerable Dreadnought's down to 1 wound left, and now there's the Sergeant Biker, the hero that took that attack from the captain, will clear out, finish off that Dreadnought. 3s to hit, both hit. 5s to wound, no wounds. The Dreadnought lives. Then we did the Razorback, didn't do anything. Now we're out for the Scouts, and they're okay. And I think that's the end of Firehawk's turn 3. This thing is heavily contested. You shut down the Razorback from shooting, and you had some successes with the firepower, but this thing generally whiffed. And charging in there, lots of firepower into Gabriel Locke there, and he took it all, and the charge, and sliced up a couple of Firehawks as they came raging in. Maybe they've extended themselves a bit too far. Here we are after movement phase of the 13th. Locke staying locked up in combat so he can slaughter these two, and the last 2 tactical marines moving across onto this objective here with the bikes, ready to lay some firepower down into the intercessor. Made sure they're within 6 inches of Locke so he can shout at them, and they'll get their re-roll to hit. And then the last tactical squad jumped out of the Rhino before it broke out of combat, supported by the Librarian here. And yes, there's a lot of flamers, but I think if I put some more firepower down into those flamers, I might be able to start chewing my way through there. And if these heroes manage to hold up this assault for long enough, I could potentially steal that objective. And if I keep pressurizing this objective, it might pull some of Tom's forces away and onto it rather than trying to steal the one that I think is fairly secure over here. I need to pressurize this. I can't just let it go. Otherwise, it leaves you with some easy pickings.
Yes.
So, Psychic Phase, start off with him. He's going to put Might of Heroes on himself. And that passes. I needed a 6. That gets him an extra toughness and attack and goodness. Now he's going to smite. It'll hit your aggressors. And that's a 10. And if I'd have got an 11, that would have been D6 damage. I've got 3 command points left. No, we'll leave it at that. D3 mortal wounds. For 1 mortal wound, let's command point that one. For 2 mortal wounds, I do manage to kill an aggressor. On to the shooting phase. Let's shoot. Chuck a crack grenade, hitting on A3, and strength 6. Doesn't wound. And then what I'll do is I'll fire all the bolt guns and the bolt pistol from the Librarian into them at the same time. And I chucked in the Storm Bolter from the Rhino as well, only doing 1 wound in the end. So let's fire these scouts down at them with some sniper rifles. I need to whittle them down before this potential charge. So 3s to hit with the scouts with sniper rifles, rerolling 1s, because Sol Garrow is shouting in their ear, and everything hits. Strength 4, your toughness 5 though. So I need 5s to wound, but 6s do mortal wounds. Finally they get some mortal wounds in addition. So 3 mortal wounds plus 3 3-up saves, sir. Oh no. 6 damage in total?
That's them gone.
They're wiped. Took them 4 turns, but the snipers finally met their mark, or made their mark, and managed to snipe out the aggressors through their eye sockets. Brilliant stuff. Right, now the Devastators are going to have a go at these guys up here. And I've spent another command point for a Hellfire round, again from the Heavy Bolter, basically round after round. He's got a lot of Hellfire shells in his pocket, is what I'm saying. Using the Signum, hitting on a 2. And it misses. And I reroll 1s because I'm in range of Captain Sol Garrow. And it misses. And then 3 las cannons. 3s to hit, rerolling 1s. And all 3 hit. And it's strength 9 versus toughness 5. I need 3s to wound. They all wound. It's -3 but +1 because you're in train piece. So 3 5-up saves. And you make 2 of them. So D6 damage on one of the aggressors. 2 damage. Only killing 1. They dodge right, they dodge left. Avoid those shots. Razorbacks then. I was going to fire at the repulsor. But these guys have got mobility and a lot of firepower. And the repulsors are essentially taking on the tanks. So I want to fire... No, I was going to fire at the repulsor. Continue to fire at the repulsor. First Razorback. 3s to hit. And 3s to wound. Wounds, you need a 6-up save on the repulsor, which you fail. D6 damage for 1 damage. And then the other Razorback hits twice. Wounds twice, 2 more 6-up saves. And you make one of them, d6 damage for 6 damage. So 7 damage in total on the repulsor. I think it's down to 9 left.
Yep, 9.
9, Meine Führer. Is that inappropriate?
Probably not.
Let's fire these guys into the intercessors. Rapid firing range with the 2 grav guns. 3s to hit. Strength 5. That many wounds, and it's -3 a grav gun. So 3 6-up saves on the intercessors.
So because I'm within the barricade, does that count as a...
No.
I know, I was kidding.
It's just defense. It's there because it looks pretty. Okay, so you fail all of them. D3 damage. D3 damage. So 1's dead because that doesn't spill over. And D3 damage off the floor. D3 damage. Okay, I kill 2. Now twin bolt gun death. 3s. Then re-rolled the 1s. Then 4s. And not a lot. Actually, that was pretty good. That many 3-up saves, sir. You make them all. Nice. Let's fire this guy. I am going to overcook the plasma gun because he's the combi plasma. He is in range of Gabriel Locke there. So let's do that first. And you're in 12-inch range for rapid firing. So both hit. Strength 7, toughness 4. 1 wound, -3, which you fail when it does 2 damage because it's overcooked. And the bolt gun hits twice, wounds once, 3-up save, which you make. And the bolt gun came from the guy stood next to the sergeant, didn't use both sides of the combi. Right, I think I've just got the Thunderfire cannons left to fire at. I was going to plunge them down into the aggressors, but they're gone. And you're looking pretty thin on the ground. But they're a troops choice. So I must kill the troops choice. So let's fire 1 Thunderfire cannon down at them. They can fire indirectly. Number of shots. 4d3 shots. That was only 6. 3s to hit. And strength 5. Rerolling 1s because left hand is right next to him. That many wounds at -1, sir. And I kill 1.5. Putting 1 down to 1 wound left, which seems like a waste of Thunderfire cannon. I could potentially charge you, but I don't really want to be locked up in turn 5. I want you dead. But next turn I could kill you. So let's drop the other Thunderfire cannon on the Hellblasters. Number of shots. 8 shots, 3s to hit. Re-rolling all of those 1s, lots of 1s. And that was 7 hits. And I'm wounding on 3s, re-rolling no 1s at all. -1. And the Hellblasters, one of them dies. And that's the end of my shooting phase, making the Firehawks bleed death by 1,000 cuts. I think I'm going to have to charge. I think this squad is going to charge in there, and that will be the only charge happening. And we make it into combat. 3s to hit, and I need 4s to wound. I do 2 wounds. He's got 1 left, and he survives. Hero Intercessor. Now, non-charging units across to Gabriel Locke. He'll swing at these 2 jumpy dudes. And he hits on 2s and he re-rolls because he's in range of himself. And he'll wound on 3s with a relic blade. Ooh, just 2 wounds, sorry. So 2 6-up saves. And D3 damage a time. 1 dies because that will do... Actually, on a 1, 2, 3, it'll be that dice roll first. So that kills 1 and that puts 1 down to 1 wound. And then I suddenly realised perhaps I should have swung over here first because this Dreadnought's on 1 wound left. And you get to pick a unit after I did. So you get to pick a unit and swipe first.
Dreadnought against scouts.
Yeah, that's what I would do. 2s to hit, 2s to wound. Everything gets through. Yeah, so 3 6s on the first scout. Dead, 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 dead. You kill all the scouts. Then I pick my sergeant. Now he's got to do it. I should have really gone with the scouts first. He's got to do it. 3s to hit. He both hits. I need 5s to wound that venerable Dreadnought. 2 wounds. I might find a weak spot. 2 3-up saves. The Dreadnought stands firm. And then the captain, warlord of the Firehawks, slaughters that sergeant for his impudence and locks down this objective here. Right, we have 1 morale test to make. Over here, you lost 4 guys. Basically, don't roll a 6, and you're going to be okay because he's a sergeant, and that's a 6, and you've got 1 command point left. Do you really want to keep him alive? It's up to you. Are you going to re-roll? Oh no, you've got And They Shall Know No Fear. You do get to reroll anyway. What am I talking about?
4.
4. So he stands firm. Yeah, we forgot about that. That might have come into effect earlier on. I completely forgot about And They Shall Know No Fear. Here we are after the Firehawk's movement phase. Now, the last intercessor, the last troop's choice, fell back out of combat and has got inside the repulsor as it came forward. Now, there's a troop's choice in there. It's turn 4, and in turn 5, you could just jump out and sit on that objective. These are troops as well. So the last jumpy dude has broken out of combat from lock, and I think you want to hose them down.
Absolutely, with fire.
And it looks like Locke could be in trouble as well, because there's 4 las cannons pointing at his face, and they've been joined from the jumpy dudes over there. Meanwhile, over here, the captain is standing on this objective. It is his. He controls it. And you figured that the Venerable Dreadnought was dead anyway. It's got 1 wound left.
Yeah.
So there was no point in keeping it back. Let him sell his soul dearly and go charging into combat and try and clear away this troop's choice, worried about stealing objectives in turn 5, particularly if it goes on to turn 6. So let's go straight into the shooting phase. What do you want to fire first?
This guy into those 2.
Okay, 6 shots coming in hot. Everything hits. 3s to wound. And not so good on the wounds, just 3 wounds. 3 4-up saves and a 6-up. 1 dice. Still a tactical marine left. Right, 2 Hellblasters. What are we doing?
Supercharging them into the bikes.
Dangerous stuff. 2s to hit. 3s to hit. What am I talking about? He's alive. And he's alive. They all hit. Wounding on 3s though. And that many wounds, I don't get any saves. So it's just 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. So it does 2 damage on this guy on 1 wound left. And he's dead. 2 damage on another bike. And he's dead. And 2 damage on the last bike. He's alive on 1 wound. Leaving the sergeant and the guy with the grav gun left alive. Now going across to the jumpy dudes, and they're putting all their guns, 18 guns, into lock. This could sting. Hitting on 3s. 14 hits. Wounding on 4s. Ouch. Right, this is -1, but I do have a 3-up invulnerable save from my storm shield. 6 wounds to get through because it's captain on a bike, so 3-ups. 1 hit the floor, so I'll re-roll that. He takes a wound, 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. He takes a wound, he's got 5 left. So I think I made some mistakes when I was speaking there, English not good. Locke took 2 wounds, he's got 4 left. Now the repulsor. I can see you thinking, are you going to put all guns into him?
I'm not sure.
What are we doing?
Well, I'm about to kill Locke.
So everything.
Everything's going into him.
That was some humming and ahhing. Okay, so 4 las cannons essentially.
4 las cannons essentially into him. 2 hits.
2 hits. 1 wound. Strength 9, toughness 5.
Yes, 1 wound.
You got 1 command point left.
Last command point.
Really?
Yes.
2 wounds. Okay, 2 get through. I've got 2 3-up invulnerable saves to make on my storm shield.
Bugger.
He walks through fire. I'm sorry.
The Icarus. That's 3 shots.
3 shots.
Hitting
Okay.
on 4s.
4s, yeah, because it's not a flyer. Okay,
2
that's
hits.
good, right? Yeah.
2
2
wounds.
wounds. -1. 3-up
Doesn't
invuln.
matter.
And 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. No, he's down to 3 wounds left. You've got 8 shots now with the storm bolters. There's 2 storm bolters on there, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do the Gatling gun first.
Okay, Gatling gun. That's not good. That was 2 hits. And 1 wound. And I made the save. Still got 3 wounds left. That belongs there. And this is the storm bolters. Okay, 5s to wound.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
5 wounds. 5 3-up saves with 3 wounds to get through. And a 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactics. He's got 2 wounds left. All those jumpy dudes in the repulsor at point blank range. Not enough gun to take down Gabriel Locke. He's a hero. Right, across to the Dreadnought. And maybe because he's injured and steaming and smoking and down to 1 wound left, all those shots go wild or get saved on my holy armour. That's the end of the shooting phase. Now, you said you're multi-charging?
Yep.
Both of them?
Yep.
He's got 1 wound left, are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, 12 shots with the assault cannon coming in at your Dreadnought. 6s. Okay, that was pretty good. And then the tactical marines will chuck a grenade, which misses, and then I will fire some rapid fire bolt gun death
Yeah.
3 hits. I need 5s. No wounds. Okay, he's going to get in. He'll make it. He rolled 8. 6. He makes it. Right, we end up there. What are you doing?
The repulsor will ram with lock.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. Grenade. Misses. You are in.
Clonk. And he will charge him.
Okay, combi plasma. I'm going to overcharge because I get to reroll. 6s. No, and he'll be in as well.
He is in, yes.
Yeah, he'll be in. At the end of the movement phase, roll a 6 and he kills him with a mortal wound. And you do.
Nice.
I need a 6 up Iron Hands,
Oh.
which I make. So he crunched him, but he did not bend. Right, from there, back over here. Dreadnought first, what are you doing?
Everything into the Tactical Marines.
Brilliant, I like it. So you've stopped that from shooting, essentially, by
Yep.
charging it. And then everything into the Tactical Marines, 2s to hit and 2s to smush. All 4 get through. And when the smoke clears, it looks like this. Managed to slaughter 4 Tactical Marines. Then the repulsor hits lock. It's got 6 attacks. You just rolled 3 6s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and 3 still wound. 2 wounds, 3 ups. And I make them both. And now you have your jumpy dude on that last Tactical Marine. 3 attacks. Get an extra attack, he's a sergeant. 1 hit. No wounds. Okay, then I get to fight back. Sergeant versus Dreadnought. 3s to hit. 2 hits. I need 5s. He does 1 wound. He's got 1 wound left. 3 up save. And you fail.
Come on, blow up.
And it does not blow up. The Dreadnought bravely sells himself dear, but dies. Then over here, Sergeant versus Jumpy Dude. 3s to hit. 1 hit. And does a wound. It's got 1 wound left. 3 up save. And you manage to save that. Now Locke will strike this repulsor back. I have 4 attacks. I hit on 2s. And it's a relic blade. Strength 6. Your toughness 7. So I need 5s to wound. I get a wound in. You have a 6 up save, which you fail, and it does D3 damage for 3 damage. 6 wounds left, and that's the end of turn 4 for the Firehawks. He's got a morale test to make, which he passes. 4 plus the 4 he lost is 8, and he's the sergeant. And that's the end of Firehawks turn 4. You currently control 2 objectives. And your captain's line breaking because of this weird deployment thing that sticks up. He's in the deployment zone. I mean, he even can walk forward a bit closer to definitely get inside the deployment zone. But I think he's going to attract a lot of firepower in a second. I currently control 2 objectives. And I've got first blood. So it's on a knife edge, despite the very few assets that the Firehawks have left. Mind you, I've got very few assets left. I've got this castle back here and not much else out there that can move around and do stuff. So it's as close can be. Let's find out who wins the battle of this refinery as we head on to the end game, turn 5. In the movement phase, the bikes have advanced around the back there, putting this line of sight block and terrain piece between me and it. Line breaking. I've fallen out of combat here so I can shoot lots of stuff with all the guns I have remaining. And then the sergeant has ran round. I'm not within 3 inches of that objective, but he did advance. If I go into turn 6, I could potentially jump onto it. The Rhino advanced as well. Libby didn't advance. I think that's a 9-inch charge to get to him. But if it goes to turn 6, I could potentially steal that objective. Anyway, before we go there, let's do Might of Heroes on my Librarian, which passes, nearly perils, and Smite, which passes D3 mortal wounds. For 3 mortal wounds, and Captains of Gravis Armour start off with 6, so I think he's got 3 left. Now let's hose him down with the assault cannon on the Razorback. I'm hitting on 4s now though. 7 hits, strength 6, toughness 5, 3s to wound, only get 3 wounds in, minus 1 AP, so 3, 4 up saves. He takes 2 more wounds. Interesting. If I hadn't ran round with my sergeant, I could have potentially shot him and got Slay the Warlord. He's not the closest unit. I mean, I could fire him directly with a Thunderfire, but he's not the closest guy to the Thunderfire. Razorback, Rhino. The Rhino advanced, so I can't put any more guns into him, and he's got 1 wound left. If I make the charge, however, I could be Slay the Warlord. Interesting. Right, let's go back round here. Devastators. Firing 3 las cannons into the repulsor and then the heavy bolter and the other shots into the jumpy dude. Let's do the heavy bolter. 3s to hit and no wounds. And then the 3 las cannons into the repulsor. The one with the signum hits on a 2. Let's re-roll that. That was more of a drop. And then these guys hit on 3s. Re-rolling 1s because of the captain. Nope. So just one hit with the las cannon. It's got 6 left to get through. And re-rolling 1s because the lieutenant, that's a wound. You have a 6-up save on the repulsor, sir. Which you make. Interesting. Let's fire the rest of the bolt guns into that jumpy dude. Only 3 can see him. And they all hit. And they don't wound. Interesting. Razorback las cannons, number 1 into repulsor. 3s to hit. Both hit. 3s to wound. 1 wound. 1 6-up save. And you don't make it this time. D6 damage for 6 damage. That's a dead repulsor. Which goes kaboom. This is a nasty explosion. Because each unit within 6 inches suffers D6 mortal wounds. So on that guy, on lock, let's roll for lock. See what you manage to get. You get 5 mortal wounds on lock. He's got 5 6-up Iron Hands Chapter Tactic saves. No, he's dead. And then when he falls, the 2 Tactical Marines die with him as well. Iron Hands Chapter Tactic's not keeping him safe. He's got 1 mortal wound left, so that jumpy dude's dead. And it's your vehicle that blew up. So you need to roll the D6 mortal wounds on the remaining stuff. Now this could sting.
The Hellblasters first?
Yep.
6, so they're gone.
Okay. Jumpy dudes, 2. That'll only kill 1 jumpy dude. And there's 1 unit embarked in there, so don't roll a 1. And he rolled a 2, so he survives. Big bada boom. When the smoke clears, it looks like this, and suddenly you're controlling the objective and it's turn 5, and if the game ends, you're going to win. So I need to kill him. But then you can jump them over and score that and win. So I need to kill him and them. And I just got down and had a look. Snipers can't see anything because of all the gantries who have been here before. So I have to put las cannons rounds either into them and thunderfire cannons. So let's do las cannons at the jumpy dudes from the 2nd Razorback into these guys. 3s to hit. They both hit. And 3s to wound. Re-rolling 1s. 1 wound. 1 6-up save. And D6 damage. So one of them dies. And I've got 2 Thunderfire cannons left. And that's it. So, sigh. Let's fire one of the Thunderfire cannons at him. Number of shots. 7 shots hitting on 3s. Re-rolling 1s. And wounding on 3s, strength 5, toughness 4, re-rolling 1s. So I get 5 wounds on the intercessor who's got 1 wound left, minus 1 AP. And he's gone. And now I need to put the other Thunderfire cannon into the jumpy dudes. Number of shots, it's only 8 shots. Hitting on 3s, re-rolling 1s, and there's 3 1s. Okay, so I managed to get 6 hits in. Strength 5, toughness 5. Re-rolling 1s. Only 2 wounds. 2. He takes it with 1 wound left. And I have no more gun in line of sight or range because Garrow and the other ones, there's a Razorback in the way, are locked up. Can't see this last jumpy dude. And if the game ends in turn 5 for you and you're on that one and your captain survives over here and you're on that one, you're going to win. You're going to win. So I need to make this 9-inch charge in your captain and kill him with my 4 sword. And that's a 7, and I've got 1 command point left. I need this charge. Right, he's in. But you've got Overwatch. So to try and win me this game, the Librarian's made it all the way around. No command points left on either side. He's got 3 attacks. He hits on 3s, but it's got 1 more attack because of Might of Heroes. 4 attacks hitting on 3s with his Force Axe. 3 hits. It's plus 1 strength, the Force Axe, which gets up to strength 5, toughness 5. But with Might of Heroes, I'm up to strength 6. So it's 3s to wound. 3 wounds. You need to make all of your invulnerable saves, all 4 invulnerable saves to keep a warlord alive. And that's slay the warlord. And my librarian is within 3 inches of the centre of that objective. And that's the end of the 13th turn 5. And with 2 models left on the board, there is no way back for the Firehawks. We're calling it there. Tom has graciously conceded.
I'm not really that concerned about this game because we know what's going to happen. A puff of smoke's going to happen. Legions of Damned are going to appear and slaughter all these guys. I mean, we know what's going to happen.
No, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I think in the end, it was a noble victory for the 13th. Look, even if you jump round and onto this objective here, you get 2 points for that one, 1 point for that one back there. So that's 3 points. And I've got this objective here, 1 point, plus this one, 2 points. That's 3 points. Plus I have First Blood, Slay the Warlord, Line Breaker, 6 points to 3. The old school Space Marines beat the new school Space Marines. This is the way the world ends. But it wasn't over until it's over. When that repulsor tank went up in smoke there, my heart leapt into my mouth because there was a way for Tom to steal that one and a way for Tom to steal that one. But in the end, this librarian come running through, was the hero that we needed, not necessarily the hero that I deserved, and has stolen this game for the 13th. It was a lot closer than I thought. The pressure was unbelievable, but in the end, the 13th do not bend. This battle map brought to you by Hot Dice Miniatures, and this terrain brought to you by foreground.co.uk. Tom, I want to thank you one more time for coming down and playing.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
Thank you very much. This was your idea, old school versus new school.
Yeah, actually it was, because I haven't actually seen any battle reports of Primaris versus regular Marines.
I haven't either, you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, Tom, if you could have done something different, what would it have been?
Not brought 2 repulsors.
We don't rate repulsors,
It's
do
like
we?
660 something points to win 2 of them. That's like a lot of
Is
points.
it? Yeah, that is a crazy amount of points. Yes, they've got 16 wounds and all that, but it is a crazy amount of points for something with a 3 upset.
Yeah, and in a 3,000 point game, you can blow them away quite easily.
I'll tell you what, me going first, which was a rare thing, I think that changed things, because if you had gone first, then you'd essentially had 8 las cannons. You could have shut down some of the firepower. These 2 dreadnoughts that came up the middle didn't have much of an impact because I was able to clear them away. But if they'd have slaughtered a bunch of troops first in turn 1, if you'd have gone turn 1, I think it could have been a very different game. So as the 13th stand firm and the Firehawks fall back, there is only really one winner this day, and that is the enemies of the Imperium. Today was a sad day for the Imperium. Anyway, thank you for listening. Happy wargaming.